Hello everybody. I want to talk about the Ray Rice saga from this past summer and why marketing aspects are being on close watch regarding this and many other issues in the NFL this past season off the field. But I want to basically just focus on this here, the Ray Rice issue, as the center focus of this slide. Now, this is a surveillance from back around April, May of Ray and his then fiancee, now wife, in an elevator. And I'd seen that both argued, and Ray swung at her and knocked her out and dragged her out of the elevator. This was a surveillance that was seen around the world on the 30 Mile Zone website. And I know it was very disturbing, but sadly, I saw in an interview that she said that she was only doing this to help spread the awareness of domestic violence. This is something I don't want to basically get more into right now. Now, how did the NFL handle this? Well, the incident took part in, as I said, back in April or May, and it took 4 months for this case to open and Commissioner Roger Goodell to basically get his hands on it, which basically made some people upset at this and wondering, and I'll get to it momentarily, about Goodell's side of this issue, but I think it should have been done back around April, May, so that there wouldn't be no mistakes made out of this. A couple sponsors pulled the plug on Ray Rice after this incident. The first is Nike, which is the official apparel sponsor of the NFL, and this is the third year that Nike and the NFL have partnered together. They dropped him just similar to the Adrian Peterson, I'm talking the Vikings, not the Bears one that just retired recently, who has been under fire for child abuse. And the other is Electronic Arts. Electronic Arts, the makers of the Madden NFL franchise of games, discontinued using his likeness for future games. I think EA did the same thing for the Tiger Woods franchise of golf games, which I think they dropped their likeness following his scandals surrounding his adultery around 2010. So, how can this can be prevented in the future as far as future incidents off the field? Well, it all comes down to ethics. It has to be ethically sound. And of course, the NFL, like most other domestic leagues, has to be liable when it comes to handling such incidents. And I think they didn't do a very good job at this. In return, sponsors, they have to take some type of basics, and they have to understand, as not just sponsors, but the public, the players, and the staff of the teams itself. They have to basically understand how action is taken and how it's taken properly. And as a result, the partnerships between sponsors and the league and the teams itself could determine the future, and who knows, sponsorships could be in limbo. So, did Commissioner Goodell live up to the expectations when it came to handling of this incident? Well, to me, I don't think he did, because the video was in the NFL's world headquarters in New York. And I'm not sure where he was around the time, but he should have took time away from what he was doing and just look at the video carefully, and then do some type of major punishment to Ray Rice. And That way, everything would have been solved, everything would have been done immediately, and I think sponsors would have liked it to for the better, for the greater good of society to do, and that everything would have done correctly. So, in other words, Goodell was a little bit slovenly. Now, the NFL is a marketing-driven league, and this incident, like the Adrian Peterson and Greg Hardy, and I think Ray McDonald's among others, I think, that actually caused a domino effect in marketing, how people want to view the NFL, and therefore it hits the clubs in the league hard in the pocket. I know the Ravens took out a lot of Ray Rice gear, which I'll probably get to momentarily, but merchandise sales in general, not just the Ravens team shops, but at the 31 others, as well as officially licensed NFL gear. You know, the ones that have the NFL players logo on it. And of course, empty seats. You know, this year the NFL no longer does blackout, so no matter where you are, you're going to see the game anyway. But as far as television, but empty seats have been a norm, and in the NFL you see them a whole lot. It doesn't matter what team, but there's a lot of empty seats. So we know how incidents can hit hard at home. Of course, the NFL paid a lot of money for these sponsorship deals, and these deals transpire to most of the 32 clubs in the league. For instance, AB InBev sponsors the majority of the teams in the league, and Pepsi, which is another example of an NFL sponsorship, is prominent at about half of the teams in the league. And most of them, like AB InBev, like Pepsi, like Nike, they all want a driven product, driven with superior handling, like another NFL sponsor, Bridgestone Firestone, and they want hard hits. They want a good product. People also want to see the NFL go back to what it used to be: hard hits, not watered down penalties. And if they water it down, they might lose sponsorship. And that's what the sponsors want to do: help promote the league the way it should be, not the way it is right now. And as a result, if more people cared, and if not, as far as on the field play is concerned, and not having these off the field distractions like Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson, then the league and the clubs will profit. And of course, not just sponsors, but organizations have also used the NFL. This has also been a norm in the major sports entities like the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, specifically NBA Cares and Major League Baseball, where charities use the leagues to help promote their organization. You know, the United Way have done this for years with the NFL, and in return the players get involved with these as well. So, as a result of the incidents in the offseason like Rice's, it can hurt one's reputation. So here are some marketing strategies for the NFL when it comes to such incidents like this. Number one, make sure that the teams, leagues, and the sponsors all coexist, and have a plan in case something else happens yet again. And in order to maintain a relationship, as I keep saying, coexisting will help. Sponsors must coexist with the league, sponsors must coexist with the clubs, sponsors must coexist with both. And for such incidents, it would be best to examine the incident firsthand, not waiting 5 months to do it, and then evaluate the sponsorship status. And as a result, these things can help determine the fate of one company's status. Simple as that. With this in mind, what would I do to help in this situation? First off, as a consultant, I like to reevaluate everything, as I just mentioned about the marketing strategies, and make sure this will not happen again. Of course, sponsors pay for money to help promote the product. They're watching this, And you never know. They might want to think twice as far as an investment into this league. And such incidents could result, as I kept saying, sponsorships could be lost, public respect public respect will be lost, and so forth. And we've seen a lot of sponsorships pulling the plugs and so forth. But however, some of them decided to stick with them because they feel like we like them, we support them, and we're going to give them another chance. There's one example in mind which I'll show here. One of those perfect examples, as I mentioned, about communication and sports scandals is the ASADA, or as in the Australian Sport Anti-Doping Agency scandals of 2013 involving the Essendon Football Club, the Australian Football League, that's Australian rules football, senior level, and the Cronulla Sharks of the National Rugby League of Australia and New Zealand. Now, the way sponsors handled this ASADA scandal of 2013 was a very interesting one because I don't think there were a lot of sponsors lost from this. But in 2013, as a result, we saw that the two main sponsors for the Essendon Football Club, Kia Australia and True Value Solar, or 13 Solar, decided to stick with the club. They even gained Fujitsu, I believe, as a sponsor for this past season. And the result, no matter what happened in this scandal, Essendon still had a lot of profits. They still had record profits. And even though they were stripped, and they still finished ninth in the AFL ladder in 2013. On the other hand, Cronulla, they had to go without a sponsor without a primary sponsor most of the season. They lost some money, I think about 400,000 Australian dollars, and they had one match sponsors, and about at least four one match sponsors, but they still struggled to get a long-term sponsor during this whole ordeal. As for Ray Rice, of course, this man got reinstated, and a lot of NFL teams, about four of them to be exact, are trying to sign him to get him to suit up soon. But the matter of the fact is this incident has tarnished the legacy and career of Ray Rice, that the Ravens yanked the jerseys from the team shop, as well as anything and everything that was while playing at Rutgers. His alma mater yanked it, not just yanked his records, but also his images as well while at Rutgers. And as far as his then fiance, now wife, is concerned, well, I can say this. After reading that interview, I can pretty much say that her using this to basically, she wanted to get Ray to hit her because she wanted to basically promote and raise awareness for domestic abuse toward women. I think this was a bad idea anyway because it was done in public. So I'm not sure where she'll go in there because that may have tarnished her legacy as well. So to sum up this, first, sponsors must assess and question themselves. Why would they invest in such a product where they can take such chances? And that's what sponsorships do. They sponsor things, and they risk and invest in the product. And sometimes you have to have some sort of risk. And if this happens again, into anybody in the NFL in general, will there be more sponsors taking action? I know that Pepsi, AB, InBev, Nike, I think, and many others that basically took a lot of action as far as voicing their opinions on this. But this this could result in loss of sponsorship. And how about how this incident is being handled? Will this result in Roger Goodell and his forced resignation? Because just now, the owners passed a thing where he's stripped of power when it comes to discipline. So now the owners are now in control. Furthermore, as I said, the NFL is the most valuable domestic league in the country, one of the most valuable in the world. But a lot of people are losing interest through off-the-field action and watered down on the field play. So if this is fixed, if everything is fixed, this would be a better NFL, and it would do what it normally would do, play hard football the way it should be. I hope you enjoyed this slide, as is a very informative slide on one of the more prominent off-the-field issues in the NFL this year in Ray Rice. Thank you very much, and have a great day.